Hi there, I'm David Bryce and I run the business side of things here at Paul Bradford Sugarcraft School. Today I want to talk to you about pricing cakes. It's a subject that everyone has had difficulty with at some point in time, and none more so than ourselves. So, why should you listen to me? Well, back in 2002, when we first started out, we were a little lacking in confidence and experience, and it was easier just to undercharge. We justified it with, well, we're getting the name out there. However, in 2007, we very nearly went out of business simply because we weren't charging enough to make a profit. We're winning awards, very busy, but just not profitable. It's often the case that business owners are too close to their own businesses to see the obvious. And even when it's pointed out, all too often owners can retract into denial instead of dealing with the difficult issues. That was us back in 2007, which was a crazy time. As I said, very busy, but up to our eyes in debt. That was until one day we had a rude awakening when we simply couldn't afford to keep going. We were lucky. A respected friend offered to give us some business advice. I thought, what do they know about the cake business that I don't? But just listening to them after only a couple of minutes, it was very clear. They knew how to make profit. Probably the most difficult but rewarding hour of our business lives. Leaving the meeting feeling battered and bruised, we knew that if we didn't put our prices up, then we'd be bankrupt within a couple of months. It really was that close. It was horrible. We were given a formula for pricing cakes, which changed our business and our lives for the better. And I'm going to share that with you now. Using the formula, in our particular case, meant that we had to put our prices up by around 35 to 40%. Now that was scary. So if I suggested that you put your prices up by 35 to 40%, what would you say? Well, guess what? We said exactly the same thing. Nobody will ever pay that for a cake. However, we had no choice. So don't leave it until you're in that position. And anyway, how do you know people won't pay that? Have you tried? The calculation was that if we lost 35 to 40% of our customers, then we'd still be better off because we wouldn't have to pay for the ingredients to make those extra cakes. The reality was that we lost only around 10% of our customers, but within 6 months we were exceeding the number of customers for the same period the previous year. We very quickly started turning a profit, using the formula, starting to grow the business to the point where we had 7 outlets and brought in over £1 million. Pricing was just one of many lessons we learned along the way, which are all shared with you in our pro section. So, I hear you asking, what's the formula then? To get going, there are 5 crucial questions that you need to answer. So number 1, work out what you need to earn every week. That's your take-home salary or pay. You can easily swap this for what you want to earn, but you need a number in there. Number 2, how many hours can you give to actually decorating cakes every week? That's not baking, admin, taking orders, just simply the decorating. Number 3, what's the average time it takes you to decorate a wedding cake and a novelty cake? And what's the average price you charge for them? Let's just say that an average wedding cake is a 3-tier, 6, 8, 10 round with some decoration, and your novelty cake, let's say that's a 10-inch square character. Let's just say Mickey Mouse. Now copyright, that's an important part here, but that's another lesson within the pro section. Number 4, what are the cost of ingredients to make your average wedding cake a novelty cake as a percentage of the price you charge? And finally, number 5, what are your weekly running costs? You really need to know this number. It's your rent, it's your insurance, electricity, advertising, etc. If you're unsure, go away now and work it out, because that will work out your break-even figure is. It's very important that you know this. Okay, so let's put some numbers together. Number 1, let's say that you need to earn $500 every week. Number 2, you've worked out that you can dedicate 20 hours a week to decorating cakes. Number 3, your average wedding cake takes you around 7 hours to decorate and you charge $500. And let's say your novelty cake takes 3 hours and you charge $150. Number 4, your cost of ingredients to make those cakes is 30% of the price you're charging. And number 5, let's say that your weekly running costs are $300. So your optimum week is 2 wedding and 2 novelty cakes, which will fill your 20 hours. So putting these numbers together, 2 wedding cakes and 2 novelty cakes will bring you in sales of $1,300. That's 2 wedding cakes at $500 and your 2 novelty cakes at $150. Your cost of ingredients will be $390, so that's 30% of the $1,300 that you've received in sales. And your running costs are $300, which are now going to be fixed. Your pay, as in what you need to earn, is $500. So taking the sales of $1,300 minus the cost of ingredients, running costs and your pay, all that will give you a net profit of $110. But don't rush off and spend it, as this can be used to offset against some quieter weeks. If you can't make profit using this formula, or you want to make more profit, you have a few options. You can get quicker or find more hours in the week. You can reduce your ingredient costs, you can reduce your overhead costs, but the one I like most of all, simply charge more. Now, for a final quick tip in pricing, always give your customers 3 price options. Give them, let's say, the $100 option, which will just be a basic design. Then go for the $180 option, which will be more detail and usually the price point you might expect the customer to go for. But always give the top option as well. Don't be scared. Go to town here, let's say $250 plus. Get really excited about explaining the design, and just remember that not everyone makes a decision on their cake based on price. It's an emotional buy, so as long as you sell the emotional of how wonderful this cake can make them feel at their big event, there's a good chance they'll take this option. The key thing here is to make sure that you ask which option they prefer and ask with confidence. This way they're very likely to choose one of the options rather than just say no, which wasn't an option you've given them. Never ask a question where no could be an easy answer, and never ever give the easy cop-out, would you like to go away and think about it. You should create a pricing grid which you can present to the customer. It should be in quality paper or at the back of your portfolio, which clearly sets out your pricing structure. We based our prices on the cake size, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc., and then on band. The band equated to the amount of time it would take to make the cake, so the template we use is available for you to download to get you started. Oh, and one final thing, friends and family. Work out exactly who your friends and family are and make it a small list. And for everyone else, treat them as customers. No mates rates for friends of friends or distant relatives. They should be fully paying customers. If I were you, I'd stop spending all my time doing favours, because the more you do, the more that is expected of you. I hope this gives you some insights in pricing. There's plenty more in this and the whole range of business subjects in our Pro section. But for now, you should have a look at the next lesson, which is how to find customers. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.